Alright. What do we got cooking here? Where is this going? Ah, straight into the sewers. I should have guessed. I've made a terrible mistake. Now I need to go through 2 loading screens. Welcome to the kingdom of thieves, killers, and smugglers, Shireen. All the finest goods on footfall, every last one of them, have passed through these tunnels. Jai throws up her arms in a theatrical display of reverence. As I said before, Falco's jackals are patrolling every nook and cranny of the Azri-cursed place. See those scumbags over there? We need to avoid them and not draw any attention to ourselves, or else we might as well dump a pile of grok shit all over our plan. Who doesn't love a good old 4 stealth section in a non-stealth game? But now we're going to follow the plan. If you will allow me, Shireen, I will refresh your memory. Avoiding the patrolling scum, we reach the sewer canal and follow it to the east and almost until the very end. We connect the gas cylinder to the special intake. Ironically enough, it was previously used for cleaning the air. Then we need to turn the valves in a few spots so that the gas reaches the correct chamber. I wish I knew exactly where that ashmag was holed up. Argenta examines the dark tunnels morosely. To skulk in the shadows, to hide from battle. These things are beneath his warriors. But for the sake of saving the innocent, I will dim the flame of my soul that urges me to charge openly at the enemy's ranks. Yeah, I suppose bringing a space wolf in a sister of battle on a stealth mission isn't the greatest plan. I mean, this guy barely even fits in the tunnel. Fuck, I can't actually just go straight back out. I made a terrible mistake. Okay, that's fine. You know, let's do a little save, yeah? Because I personally have a bad feeling about this. Okay, we're doing well so far. Now. Probably not the other way. Agility?
You delegate this menial task to me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right here? That was fast.
My success is an irrefutable certainty.
You made it sound like we were going to have to go kind of a long way to do that. Alright.
You can't do anything without me.
Mm-hmm.
Do I need to point it out for you?
Okay.
Let us not dawdle.
Are doing well so far.
I caught sight of something.
Fuck me. God damn. Real? Oh, no, okay. I thought this was a line going somewhere else.
The machine god grants me insight.
Since when is a trap in tech use, actually?
Operation successful.
Always keep your eye on prize. Never doubt.
Tremendous work. Yeah, I wasn't expecting to find anything good there, but it doesn't stop me being disappointed. Great. Now...
Is there money to be made?
Over here? Well, these tunnels are remarkably empty compared to what I was expecting. Remarkably empty.
Keep your wits about you.
Has detected something.
Okay.
I woke up with a feeling of wonder.
Let's try not to trigger
as
this.
if a field of flowers was blossoming nearby. A child was saved from death. 1,000 heretics were burning alive, begging and sobbing and howling.
Okay, good talk. Oh, fuck. Made no effort to stop him whatsoever. Alright. We do a smidge of save scumming.
Operation successful.
I always keep my options open.
Did I do it? Was that everything? These boys all look remarkably still
Always
awake.
keep your eye on the prize.
Oh, set up the cogitator. I had to interact with it twice. What a fool I was. Great.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
Well. Easy peasy. Wake up, Tora. Come on, you bloody Kashka. Wake up. Jai shakes the surviving twin by the shoulders. Je. Invisible bureaucracy. Nice. That's what the achievement was. Je. Get over here. Chwap. You go. The bruised and bloodied face with swollen eyes is hard to recognize as the once radiant visage of Tora the twin. By the exalted one, what's that ashmag done to your poor face, light of my soul? Jai gently strokes the girl's swollen cheek, then turns to you. He will die here, like the scum that he is, Shireen. It's what he deserves. She does not seem to be asking you a question. Yes, I didn't really assume so. Die? You would be satisfied with the mundane, swift death of your worst enemy without even adorning it with hours of artfully crafted anguish. I might like to, but hanging around here any longer than necessary. Jai shudders and makes the sign of the Aquila. Exalted one, save me. Did I just agree with you? He'll go to Chorda now. Well, you know. Do it, Jai. Without another word, the cold trader draws her weapon and carries out your sentence. Dabs for my blubber, you piece of shit. A few scant tears trickle from Tara's watery eyes. The rest of the gang are huddled together. Despite their pitiful physical condition, they greet you with satisfied smirks, and they continually shoot delighted glances at you and Jai. Well, Shireen, from now on, Footfall can sleep soundly. The foulest wart on its rusted body has finally been burnt off by none other than Jai Hidari, and her wonderful patron, of course. Jai winks at you, and her face breaks into the most genuine smile you've ever seen from her. I'll admit I'm still struggling to wrap my head around what's happened. I need to go over things with my guys. I'm sure I'll have advice and instructions to hand out. As for our little adventure, let's talk about it back on the ship, in a more private setting. You have anything good on you, though? Is this better than the one he's got? Same. This, terrible. This, terrible. Okay, well, that was a productive trip into the sewers. Managed to do like a whole quest without any combat. Wow, that's crazy. Alright, now.
Let us not dawdle.
How are we all doing round here? You have no other options, Riser. If you abandon Footfall to Charda and flee, where are you going to sell your goods? Or restock your supplies? It will be a slow death for all of you. No missiles, no water, no air. So quit bargaining with the inevitable and follow the plan. Your plan is a suicide pact. You have no allies, no weapons, no nothing. Vladium and Ryza notice you, and the old pirate grins sarcastically. You're trying to play above your league, Vekemo. You've taken on a rogue trader dynasty with only a handful of cutthroats and a couple of guns to your name. I see your march to the gallows as more of a gallop. Turning away from Ryza, Vladium's expression does not change, but an indistinct curse falls from his lips. What do we have? Who do we have here? A couple of hardened insurgents? With a wry smile, Vladium corrects you. Ungodly, lawless rabble-rousers who are a threat to the security of the station. Kindly refer to us using our full titles. Greetings, your ladyship. As for you, Vakemo, I've got nothing to add. Your plan's utter crap and the kind of gamble I don't take. I'll leave you to think about your prospects and maybe realize that using my shuttle would be a better idea, while the shuttle and I are still here. Vladium looks over at Marzai. You really aren't picky at all in your choice of mercenaries. Then again, the unclean Xenos are too adept in the art of carnage for one to refuse their services out of trivial squeamishness. The word mercenary causes Marzai's eyes to flare up in a fury. Careful with your choice of term, monkey, or I'll show you my expertise in flaying a person alive right here and now. Wow, look at Vladium. The former liege looks angry and focused. His coat collar is unbuttoned, showing the meshwork of ceramite-reinforced armor hidden underneath. He's wearing a gun holster on his side. Now that Vladium has thrown off the mask of a disgruntled bureaucrat, his sleeves are rolled up, showing his old bandit tattoos. He's exuding an aura of imperious cruelty. How's the station faring? It's turned into a kingdom of death, executing protesters, cracking down on corrupt traitors, and suppressing dissidents are all good. Useful policies within reasonable limits. I've used them myself, in fact. However, with Lady Chorda, reasonable limits are a distant memory at this point. Fortunately, I've been preparing for that turn of events ever since the first time that hag tried to take Footfall. You helped us then, giving me time to organize. I set up weapon caches, enlisted more fighters, and deleted my agent's data from the Cogitator network. When Chorda took power, she thought she'd won, but the station was still mine. To an extent. My little army is waging war on the Enforcers. We slaughter patrols, wrestle back detainees, and punish those who collaborate with the enemy, or are close to someone who does. Vladium's ruthless smile is like a jagged steel trap. Incendia has her reprisals, and I have mine. Everyone must remember that there are consequences for collaborating with the occupation force. I see your position of power has not changed you. Still the bandit you always were. Vladium smiles tersely. Old habits never go away. I admit I didn't exactly miss the days of my youth, but to find myself in the line of fire again is invigorating. Your ladyship, perhaps you have little love to spare for me, nor have you built a strong alliance. Seldom cooperated with the... I don't remember getting many opportunities to even do that. With the organization I'm a member of. But I'm looking at the new order of things on Footfall gives you even a tiny suspicion that it's damned madness. Step in and help me stop it. What kind of help do you expect from me? A general uprising will be doomed. The Enforcers have isolated the asteroids. We can't strike out against Incendia. She has the greater numbers, and her throne's refractor field will protect her from any attack. An insidious smile appears on the liege's lips. So we'll ask her ladyship to come to us, exploiting her overconfidence. If she wants my blood, let her come and spill it. She knows we use the Damascus as our meeting place. If you let the Enforcers know I can be found and grabbed in here, she will come hardly with her throne in tow, I imagine. We'll lure her into a trap, kill her, and take back Footfall. What size force do you command? However much Chorda would like to believe she's kicked the Casbalica off of Footfall, she hasn't. We're scattered all over the station, lying low, and there's still enough of us to cause trouble. A small band of my most daring cutthroat staff members, who were by my side when I came to power. Business partners who still remember that any venture is only as reliable as the grip of the venturer's hand on their pistol. Add to that the group of Xenos mercenaries which my colleagues from the Casbala Commission have provided me with. A radical solution, I know, but they don't care who they kill as long as I pay them, and I have the means to pay them. We would have a greater number if Ryza wasn't so damnably cautious, and Hieronymus did us a favor and shut his preaching trap. Vladium grits his teeth and adds quietly, I would have long thrown the good reverend for a loop if it weren't for the fanatical mob that would show up here to avenge him. What does Ryza have a problem with, other than all the obvious problems? She has misgivings about the prospect of our cooperation. The old rogue prefers not to pick fights unless her victory is a foregone conclusion, and right now she seems to be planning on fleeing rather than fighting. She needs the right kind of motivation. What a shame. There's no one that cold bitch values enough for me to take them hostage. Why did Ryza call you Vekemo? Old nicknames die as hard as old habits. I used to be known by that name at the station. The Vekemo is a myth, a malicious spirit stalking for prey in Footfall's empty sectors. Takara chuckles. I had a terrible reputation when I was young. Why would I take part in that? Because a critically important station in the Expanse is about to become a graveyard. Once commerce dies, merchants will turn to piracy. What else could they do? Connections between worlds will be weakened, since Chorda will make short work of astropaths as soon as she gets to them. And Chorda, do you think Footfall will be enough for her? No, she'll march on, perhaps to your worlds as well. Besides, your ladyship has not considered the possibilities that working with the Casbala Commission opens up. Now is the perfect moment for you to gain a new ally. In a time of crisis, every friendship is valuable. Incendia Chorda has nothing to offer you, while my organization's gratitude is guaranteed. Between losing an influential partner and strengthening your ties with them, I'm sure you'll opt for the latter. Why has Hieronymus shown up here? He preaches repentance. Vladium remains stone-faced for a few seconds before giving in and letting a sarcastic smile form on his lips. Chorda sent him here to make us lay down our arms and renounce our rebellious ways. But he seems taken aback by the scale of Lady Incendia's purges, which opens up possibilities. If we put pressure on him, he'll bring over zealots who will tear apart whoever he points his finger at. A useful man. I regret not establishing rapport with him sooner. News of Incendia's death is hardly going to please the Lord Inquisitor. Considering Calcazar has never once interfered in the station's affairs, he doesn't care about Footfall. This means he also doesn't care who runs the station, so long as things are quiet on it. I'm going to make sure things are quiet. Granted, he did give Chorda a security detail, but if she's already... Takara emphasizes the last word. Dead, and her death doesn't smell of deadly heresy. He likely won't bother to investigate. The Lord Inquisitor will simply entrust governance to someone who won't cause him problems. Me. I realize it's a bold hypothesis, and the Lord Inquisitor may have me hanged for Chorda's death, but my life is at stake as it is, so I may as well take the risk. I have understood your plan. An unblinking gaze fixes upon you. I hope you're finding it promising. Well, I was going to say this anyway, but I will help you overthrow Chorda. Each second of her continual rule will cost the lives of hundreds of innocent people. I'm glad you're with us, your ladyship. This is a fight we must be well prepared for. As a colleague of mine used to say, if your brain doesn't hurt from all that thinking of where to hide, it'll find out even your skull isn't thick enough once the fight is on. Which sounds especially ironic, considering how he died. I'd like to ask your opinion on how prepared we are to entertain Lady Incendia. Perhaps some of those gathered in here will support us, Ryzer's people, Hieronymus' zealots, even Octaviana's regulars. We can use whomever we can get. If you think it may be worth fortifying our positions or preparing a few surprises for our guests, my people in Arsenal are at your disposal. All you have to do is say the word. As soon as we're ready, send Chorda a message saying I'm here. Let her come. We'll settle our differences the Footfall way, with a gunfight. I would like to make a deal with the Casbalica. Regrettably, your ladyship, I have nothing to offer you at the moment. My access to the assets you're interested in has been temporarily restricted. It's going to take putting a bullet over a couple of heads for me to once again be able to offer an adequate range of merchandise. I will go and take a look around. Vladium nods attentively, then looks down at the data slate, showing a map of the station's systems. He scrutinizes it with a pensive expression. Alright. So, Hieronymus. Apparently you're just here, which is convenient.
The Emperor protects young von Valentius. What has brought you here? Perhaps you'd like to confess. Repentance is the first step on the path of redemption.
Why are you here, preaching among rebels?
It is not rebels that I see. I see fools and malefactors whose weakness made them reject the laws of the Imperium.
Who need of repentance and instruction?
Had I come earlier, perhaps I would have been able to prevent heretical insurrection.
And what do you see, rogue trader? I see frightened people trying to save their lives.
You are entirely right, but it is not their lives that they should be saving. It is their souls that are truly in peril.
Reverend, I want to stop Incendia. Help me.
Are you openly declaring your intent to move against an exactor of the Emperor's justice? Why should I, her mentor in faith, help you commit that act of treachery?
Okay. Okay. Well, we might as well pick one of the 100 ones. The law of the Imperium is harsh, but not every transgression is punishable by death. Incendia thinks herself above the law, and that is heresy.
You are right. All our lives belong to the Emperor, and no one has the right to needlessly take them away from him. People who in this dark hour could have atoned in battle against the enemies of humanity are instead perishing senselessly, robbed of their privilege to serve the Emperor. Incendia thinks herself above him, and that is an egregious crime. Now you have banished my doubt. I will do what must be done. St. Drusus's faithful will aid you in battle.
Well, that was easy. One text box later, we've completely reversed his position.
Keep your wits about you.
Alright, who else we got? Well, we got a lot of goods. Octaviana.
Octaviana looks tired, but finds the strength to smile briskly.
You saved Footfall from starvation. Great job, mate.
She pours 2 shots of clear yellowish liquid, with streaks of promethium in it, and slides one towards Ryza. Let's drink to her infallible ladyship Chorda's mercenary and good judgment, wherever they are now. Ryza downs the shot, grimacing contentedly.
You're quite the poet, Arcti. Indeed, one would hate it if Lady Chorda's ill health affected our own. Have you, by any chance, run into Lady Chorda's good judgment on your journeys, your ladyship? Got anything strong, Octaviana? For you always, my lady. A dusty but finely made greenish bottle with a wax seal appears on the bar. Lord Winterscale's favorite blend. So good it's not entirely legal. However, during his last visit, his lordship told me to put a bottle aside until his return, and who knows if he'll ever return here now. It would be a waste. He won't. But, you know. This is, you know, it's like normal response. Alright, just complete sociopathy. You know. Here's to the fall of Incendia Chorda. Your courage and forthrightness are admirable, my lady. Down with Chorda. How have you been doing here without me? Badly. But we're in no mood to lay down and die yet. There are still people who can't stand Chorda's regime, and they are fighting. A sting a day, always somewhere new. Vladium may be on the run, but he still has people loyal to him. He'd have had more if it weren't for Reverend Hieronymus. Many fell for his sermons and took to repenting and confessing. He's turned so many to the faith that they don't dare touch him anymore. The old man's a force to be reckoned with now. Are you not afraid enforcers will come for you eventually? Octaviana smiles tenderly. If they show up, I'll blow up the martyr's endurance before I let those butchers take me alive. And for now, I'll be behind the bar, refueling my roughnecks. It's a rotten thing for a captain to abandon ship, isn't it, your ladyship? Some captain. If I were you, I'd scram while the scramming is good. I know you're attached to the Damascus, but this hole isn't worth dying for. I have a shuttle hidden away nearby, so we could take off right now. Calm down, Ryza. I'm not holding you here, so don't try to drag me away either. Octaviana, we have a plan for stopping Chorda. You would be of help to us. Whatever. The woman looks at you pensively. And by we, you mean you and Vladium? He always has a plan, but it's by far not always the best plan. Why should I believe in your idea? Well, more iconoclast time. Point to the people in the hall with a sweeping gesture. This is not about whose idea it is, but who we are doing it for. For the people on footfall. For you, Octaviana. For your freedom from an insane zealot's reign of terror. The patrons greet your last sentence with an enthusiastic roar. Your heartfelt speech resonated with the commoners and seems to have stirred Octaviana too. You sure know how to be persuasive, your ladyship. You're right. You're ready to risk your life for us, and here I am being picky like a noble offered a Nutri-Bar made of ground corpses. You can count on me. Transcend the potential. Once per battle, the rogue trader may choose an ally. The target ally may immediately use their heroic act without spending momentum. Not applicable to allies whose heroic action is on cooldown. So you're telling me I can immediately make Ulfar even stronger than he immediately just kick him into turbo? Let's go. I don't have any fighters, but I do have a shipment of non-human weapons. Lethal, but with no guarantee of quality. Figuring out how it even works is tricky enough. But that still beats the junk Vladium's cutthroats are armed with. They can have a round on the house. Ryza and I need to exchange a few words. Ryza casts a glance in Octaviana's direction, waits for her to take the hint and look away, then says, "At your ladyship's service." Your eyes pierce the pirate, and you sense that the burden of her transgressions is so heavy that it will soon drag her under. Her fear has allowed a malicious will to sink its claws into her soul and tear it slowly to pieces. Ryza, the forces you have opened yourself up to will be your undoing. And what's more, your crew too. Your crew, too, will pay for that with their souls, because of you. Ryza's expression turns to stone. She peers tensely into her glass as if trying to find some answer on its bottom. Finally, she raises her eyes at you, looking incredibly tired. You're cruel, you know, your ladyship, the way you found where this old pirate was hiding her conscience and dragged her kicking and screaming into the light. I got in over my head and almost dragged my guys down with me. I'd be a crap captain if I allowed thy fear to kill my crew. Thank your esteemed self for talking some sense into me. Got a light? The pirate casually rips some kind of amulet from her neck. With a beast's fanged head crowned by horns. She tosses it into a near-empty glass of rotgut and throws the match you offered her after it. The contents of the glass are immediately engulfed in unholy purple flame. A minute later, all that's left is ash and a nasty puddle of black metal at the bottom. Satisfied with the result, Ryza smashes the glass on the floor. Vladium needs your help. Where was that one? Yeah. Your ladyship, his plan is the death throes of a concerned and condemned man who's grasping at imaginary straws. The Vekemo was once smart, shrewd, and wily, but now he's simply refusing to admit he's already lost. We modest dealers are no match for a rogue trader. It would be different, of course, if we were strongly motivated or had a rogue trader on our side, if you... Ryza looks you straight in the eye, her meaning quite clear. What's this? Ugh. Spoken like a cowardly crone, not a dreaded pirate captain. Don't talk to me like that, your ladyship. The times we're living in, barely anyone in the Expanse remembers who old Ryza is. I'm not getting any respect anymore. That means they need a reminder, and they're gonna get one. Oh, what the warp. My crew and I will take part in your little uprising. But don't ask me for details. Old Riser prefers to keep quiet about our backstage side of the backstage side of her insidious and sudden strikes. I have nothing more to say. I'll leave you to your conversation. Alright, anybody else here with a name? Dreadful Xenos. The decanter used to contain a cheap amnesec, which for the sake of attractiveness has been previously enriched with a deodorizing agent.
Rise to the top.
Nobody else with a name around to talk to. Just more goods back here.
I always have a plan.
Yeah.
Was that supposed to be a challenge?
Great job, team. Okay, nothing over here. Alright.
Is there money to be made?
What's here?
Duty prevails.
The shoddy cover will offer little protection against a well-aimed shot, but it will at least conceal the target from the shooter. Order a mine. Anything else back here?
Let us not dawdle.
Nothing else? Oh, uh-huh.
A space wolf never fails in their duty.
Alright, well, I think we... Oh, wait, more goods. I think we are ready to begin then.
The Emperor favors me today.
Huh. Alright. I see no issue in letting Incendia know that you're here. Get ready, your enemies will be here soon. I will send my least important associates to the entrance to take the brunt of the initial assault. That should thin our guests' numbers. Without thinking, Vladium reaches for his pistol to check how easily it slides out of his holster. Then, he smiles. It's an easygoing, young, and bloodthirsty smile. I'd almost forgotten how much I love all this. Stay where you are, we'll lay down your weapons. We're here for the criminal Vladium Takara and his accomplices. Members of the heretic Valimir Takara's gang, lay down your arms and face righteous justice. I like how 3 separate people are doing this. They'll hang us, don't trust them, lads. Let's make the Soli soldiers bleed. I hoped you'd respond like this. Enforcers, attack for the justice of Chorda and the Emperor. You said Chorda before you said the Emperor. That sounds awfully heretical, brother. She's probably gonna be pretty mad to see Hieronymus. Flame rages in Chordia's furious gaze as she surveys the bar. Her figure seems to exude a ruthless radiance, cruel like the scorching sun of a desert world. Rebels and heretics. I, rogue trader Incendia Chorda, master of footfall and defender of justice, am ordering you to lay down your arms. Harsh justice awaits those who surrender, and ignoble death awaits the rest. Vladium takes out his pistol and says in a lazy drawl, Incendia Chorda, I, Vladium the Vecmo, am ordering you to get off my turf before I blow your brains out and throw your corpse for the loop. Repent, Incendia, you've lapsed and turned into a monster. Incendia raises an eyebrow and asks in a concerned voice, Has horror driven you out of your mind, Ophelia? This one's more likely slightly, but I like this one better, so, you know. Your verdicts bear no relation to the codified justice of the Imperium. You create arbitrariness. You create your own law, which means your own Imperium. That is heresy. For a rogue trader, the ultimate crime is to reject the Emperor's protection and make their reign absolute, becoming a brash rival of God and a blasphemous tyrannical heresiarch? I've seen your thirst for blood. You revel in the sentencing and executing. Are you going to dispute that? Am I lying? You are not lying. I do enjoy it. Incendia lowers her head, and shadows seem to thicken around the hall. The radiance fades from her eyes. No way. Real? Enough. I repent. I yearned to serve the Emperor, but exacting vengeance upon his foes was so delicious, and their brains were so delicious, that I abandoned my duty for the sake of my gratification. I made Footfall my house of pleasures. I was a harsh judge not because it was what he wanted, but because it was what I wanted. I executed those his law forbade to execute. Putting themselves above the Emperor is the most terrible act a rogue traitor could commit. I have lapsed into heresy, and I must be convicted. Judge me, Ophelia, I who have strayed, commit myself to his mercy and his harshness. State your crimes. Arrogance was born in my heart, and it trampled on my sense of duty. I forgot the Emperor's commandments, which were as strict as they are merciful, and became a bringer of death and death only. I was not serving the Imperium of humanity. I was building a pitiful parody of his creation. What can you say in your defense? I only dream of being a worthy servant of the Emperor, of doing his will, of punishing his enemies, of turning this corrupt and decrepit system into an abode that is worthy of his light and does not diminish his greatness. Like, on a moral level, I just want to kill her. Like, in the back of my head, I'm like, she'll probably help in Chapter 5 if I don't kill her. But I probably shouldn't let that be the logic I use. Like, she's committed countless war crimes. You know? Just countless. She was eating a man's brain while he was still alive when we got here, you know? Incendia Chorda, having weighed your crimes, I, Ophelia von Valencia, sentence you to death. Have mercy on me, Emperor, protector of mankind, master of terror. I can't believe how easy that was. That just doesn't seem right.
Emperor, have mercy on me. I had doubts before, but now I see they were unwarranted. Of all defenders of the Expanse, only she was worthy of being his shield. Her repentance is but further proof of it. I was a fool to not believe in her. Is this how the cleansing of Footfall ends? No! Hieronymus cries out in woe and looks around the hall with ferocious eyes. Incendia may not have been the holiest and purest of the Emperor's tools, but who will be left here when she is gone? Him? Her? Hieronymus points his fingers at Vladium, then Ryza, and then finally you. You, are you going to protect the law and the faith? Emperor's faithful, our protector was caught in a web of conspiracy. Jesus Christ, she was lied to. Let us avenge her and carry on her cause. When thou hast stepped into the nest of corruption, destroy those that dwell therein. Smite and torment them like his wrathful instrument that knoweth no fear. Avenge his sorrow and shun pity in the name of thy love for him. To battle for Incendia Chorda and the Emperor.
I'll make an example of you.
Yeah, I guess we had to have some kind of fight, you know, but like, gotta be honest with you, dude, pretty unreasonable reaction, I think. Oh, the fact she repented proves how faithful she was. Does it? She still committed a lot of war crimes.
With such tasks.
They didn't even make it through one full round. Ulfar did take a lot of turns, though.
Vladium surveys the carnage and says dryly and morosely, "What a mess. Thank you for helping me deal with it, your ladyship. Your help has been invaluable, but the Casbala Commission will nevertheless try to approximate and match its value in the most generous of terms." He glances at Incendia's body and inquires with grim composure, "Does your ladyship have any preference in regards to what should be done with the remains of the lady?" "Give them to the mob. The people of Footfall will find many ways to pay their respects to her ladyship. They are quite exercised about this whole affair. What are you meaning to do next?" "I'll restore control. I'll free the prisoners and give merchants back their impounded cargo. I'll release the lowlifes her ladyship put in charge with my own lowlives. I'll take care of those of the station sectors that are slowly dying in isolation. And of course I'll send an envoy to the Lord Inquisitor to bring him the news and inform him of my willingness to cooperate."
Kill Vladium. "Do you realize the way that Footfall was governed must change?" "I understand. A time of war requires Footfall's public liberties to be curbed temporarily. This stage will cause you no trouble and will provide any help that's required. I'll communicate to those partners of mine who have been lucky enough to survive Lady Chorda's rule." Overcoming the desire to spit on Incendia's corpse, clearly manifesting on his face, Vladium turns from a thug to a cold bureaucrat again before your eyes. He says curtly to one of his associates, "Place her ladyship's body in a cryo-vault and take it to her ship. Make sure no damage is done to it. No further damage, that is. We were enemies, of course, but that's no reason not to act in a civilized manner. Cleanse this station of Chorda's miscreants. I am no butcher. Her ladyship's enforcers may leave the station, except those personally complicit in the killings of my employees' friends and loved ones. I have a responsibility towards them." "Congratulations, your ladyship. You have one less rival in the Expanse." "Indeed." "Now that we've dealt with the pressing issues, do you have any other instructions regarding the station's governance going forward? After all, Footfall is now under your exclusive personal protection." Vladium and everyone in the pub look at you expectantly. "Footfall is exhausted and wounded by Chorda's cruelty. I'm going to have shelters set up where those in need and pain can find a roof over their head, sustenance, and medical aid." "The entire gathering glorifies your name." What is this? What is going on with this circle? The entire gathering glorifies your name in a joyful chant. In their eyes, you see hope with a dash of mistrust. The station's inhabitants aren't used to such magnanimity. However, something in your voice gives them hope that you're not putting on a show, and that perhaps this is the beginning of a new and less grim period in the station's history. Well, great job, team. We saved the city.